So, good evening, everybody. It's great to have you all here. Hi, Hadi. Hi, Valentine. Hi, Falern. Hi, Vitali. Hi, Oksana. Manji, Maha, TW, Patricia, and Shukri as well. Wow, we're going to have a great class tonight, I hope. Let's see. We are going to continue with this article we were doing about narcissists. Yeah, narcissists are people who think they are the center of the universe, and they're pretty nasty to people. They're normally rather insecure. Hi, Count Beauty and Manisco as well. Great to have you both. Okay, so we're going to continue with this article. Let's see. The last section we did, or the last paragraph, was at work they might cozy up to you and a colleague only to badmouth each of you to the other, pitting you against each other so that the covert narcissist can look like the model employee in comparison. So, good evening, Amin, good evening, Brooke, and good evening, Bunaji. Inflation. Well, to inflate means to blow up, but inflation is the increase in prices. Is where something that cost 10 yesterday, tomorrow costs 12. And I think we're probably in for an attack of inflation. So I believe 8 o'clock has struck and it's time to rock and roll. So hey ho. Yeah, let's go. Here. So it's great to have you all. And Mohammed, great to have you as well. Any second this will come through. Great, here we go. Driving this behavior is an internalized sense of shame, says Hall. So they remunerate, handle, outweigh, overcompensate by trying to make themselves seem superior. Okay, so they want to look good in front of everybody, these narcissists. And what drives their behavior is an internal sense of shame. They're embarrassed. So they remunerate, handle, outweigh, overcompensate by trying to make themselves seem superior. Okay, so they are, well, let's see what your answers are. We've got one from Vitali and one from Oksana already. I think we'll get some more any second now. Okay, yes, so here we go. I think this one's probably quite an easy question for people with English like you. So let's see. We've got overcompensate for Vitali, for Oksana, for TW, for Count, and I guess we're going to have more in a second. Let's see. To handle something. Yeah, to handle. You can't. This is intransitive. So they handle it. They handle the situation. To remunerate is to pay somebody for their work, so it's not that either. Because room service is only in a hotel, whereas a service charge is just for any service. So, but outweigh. So Oksana says outweigh may have a place too. Would outweigh. It needs to say what it outweighs. So they outweigh this internalized sense of shame this feeling. It needs something. A outweighs B, Oksana. Overcompensate for Amin. Good evening, Hadi, who says overcompensate. To create a successful opportunity. I would say to make your own luck. Okay, and Maha goes for remunerate. Mohammed says handle, to deal with. So the only way they handle this shame, yeah? Whereas overcompensate can definitely be intransitive. So overcompensate. And whoops, I need capitals. And Manji's gone for overcompensate as well. Overcompensate. Huh. They outweigh it by. Yes. If you put it there, Oksana, that's resolves that problem. Yeah, A outweighs B. Okay, to outweigh, to be more important than. So if something is more important than something else, the quality outweighs the problem of the high price, is more important than. Yeah? The good points outweigh the bad points. That's a nice example. Thank you, Vitali. Okay, and for learn goes for remunerate, but unfortunately, remunerate is normally talking about money. Indeed, covert narcissists, unlike grandiose, overt ones, often have low self-esteem and insecurities, as opposed to having an extortionate, inflated, steep, costly sense of self. Okay, let me read this again then. Hey, good evening, Ronan. Great to have you. So indeed, covert narcissists, unlike grandiose, big-scale, overt, open, clear ones, have low self-esteem. So overt narcissists think they're the best. Covert narcissists think they're the worst. Okay, so if you this is saying, as opposed to having a very large, very overground sense of self. So we've got inflated for Vitali, for Count, for Valentine, for TW. Heh. Okay, inflated for Ronan. I'm trying to read what he's written. That looks to me something like Linbet or something like that. Inflated for Oksana, for Hadi, for Ronan. Okay. Utilize. Well, to use. Okay, Yo Leffy, great to have you here with us. Amin goes for inflated. Good evening, Arun. Okay. Heh. An inflated. Yes, it is An. Very definitely, Maha. And Shukri goes for an inflated, and so does Manji. Extortionate talks most normally about price. That was an extortionate price they made me pay. To open doors. Yeah, I think you could definitely use that in an essay. An inflated ego. It's a very good collocation, Hadi. My camera gets smaller each lesson. It's to do with my shrinking ego, Leffy. Can't retain the words. Woof. Write them down and find a way. Find a session. Inflated for Maha. Ronan wrote hi in Russian. Thank you, Oksana. Hair. Okay, so extortionate is normally very expensive, or to do with extortion, to use unfair methods. Steep, well, a hill is steep. Yeah, you could say a price is very steep as well, but it certainly doesn't work here. And costly is something that costs a lot of money. So definitely, yes, inflated. Okay, an inflated sense of self. Okay, yes, so we're going to have another one as well. Okay, so yes, an inflated sense of self. I like very much Hadi's collocation, inflated ego. Inflated means blown up, because to inflate, yeah, steep, very high, but yes, or particularly as well, a steep price, a very high price. Yeah, a high angle, a high inclination. at the moment, there is still a lot we don't know about covert narcissists in the workplace. Most research at date, on date, in date, by date, to date has focused on the grandiose, overt narcissistic personality, says Chanki Moon from Beckett University. So, good evening, Tomek, as well. Great to have you. Inflated sense of self, very definitely conceited for Learn. So 2 for Vitali, for Leffy, Count goes for on, Tomek goes for 2 date, Manji goes for 2 date, Leffy goes for 2 date, Oksana goes for 2 date, Amin goes for 2 date, TW for 2 date as well. To cower, to hide in fear. Oh, don't hit me, don't hit me. That's to cower. Okay, for Learn goes 2 and Ronan goes for 2. So there are steep prices or steep rises in energy bills. Yes, Mohammed. Hadi goes for 2 as well. Yeah. Efficiency means working well. Okay, so Mohammed, yes, goes for 2 as well. Okay, so at the moment there is still a lot we don't know about covert narcissists in the workplace. Most research up to now, to date for Maha as well. So at this date, at the present date, on date, we don't use it. In date is for something that hasn't expired. My passport is out of date, or my passport is in date. By date, we don't use it. We don't use by date. To date, up to now. To date, this project has been very successful. Yeah, particularly as well, something is up to date. Yeah, it's like it was new, up to date, to date. Yeah. To date, I have only done half of the work that I was supposed to do. Okay, so to date, up until the present moment. Yeah. And that's what motivated Moon nearby, along, besides, abutting as well with Catarina Morais, researcher at Universidade Católica Portuguesa, to look at how covert narcissism affects workplace incivility. So incivility is being rude, is being unpleasant. Yeah. Okay, so that's what motivated Moon. Nearby, along, besides, abutting as well with. Okay, so let's see. We've got along for Learn, for Vitali, for Count Beauty, for Oksana, for Valentine. Along with, says Hadi. So Shukri. Firstly, besides, yeah, doesn't take with. Yeah, and besides means additionally. What is more? Beside means next to. So he's sitting beside me, no S. This is expensive. Besides, it's not very good quality. Besides, additionally, so no, no besides. Okay, thank you, Vitali. So, along for Amin. Why not a article used before researcher? You could put a researcher. Yes, very definitely. I think probably a researcher here sounds better. I like it. But you don't have to have it. A researcher. Okay, along, says Shukri. Incivility means rudeness. Okay, I hope you've got your sound back, Patricia. So, Shukri goes for along with for Ronan. Practice makes perfect. As well as Catarina may be fit. Okay. As well as Catarina. as well as Catarina, but without the with. Yes, very definitely Valentine. Along with for Manji, along with for Mohammed. Incivility means being uncouth, being rude. Yeah, lacking the decorum of the place. I love both Vitali and Hadi's explanation. Okay, Maha, abutting means next to, but physically next to. So abutting the bank is the post office, next door, the border to it. Okay. By studying a lot, Brooke. Okay, along for Patricia. Yes, as you say. So, along with, very definitely, nearby, this is talking about location. Yeah, this place is nearby. As well as without the with, but along with. Very often in this case, I use to get together with. Yeah, want of propriety. Okay, yes, that's very good. Incivility, want of propriety. I love that definition for learn. Okay, so, along with, so he won the prize along with his friend. Yeah, along with several other people, he was arrested. Okay, and this is the idea of along with, together with, doing it with another person. In a study published in March, they found covert narcissists were more likely to claim they'd experienced workplace incivility themselves, despite their own behaviour. The digs and backbiting, debunking, defacing, flooring, there needs to be a double bracket there, which meant they were very likely to have been uncivil to others. Cheek by jowl, I love that. So, cheek by jowl. That's very good, Patricia. So, along for Patricia. Do you want me to deal with Brooke outside, boss? Thank you, Leffy. Okay, so... yes. In a study published in May, they found covert narcissists were more likely to claim they'd experienced workplace incivility themselves, despite their own behaviour. The digs and backbiting, debunking, defacing, flooring, which meant they were very likely to have been uncivil to others. So, we've got flooring from Count Beauty. We've got defacing from Falern. We've got backbiting from Patricia. We got 3 answers already. I love it. Ronan has no idea. That's it. That's great. This is a difficult one. Backbiting for Manji. Okay. You don't know the answer to this one, Leffy. Yes, you do. I'm sure you know all of these words, Leffy. Defacing, says Ronan, is your guess. The digs and backbiting from Vitali. So let's see who else goes for this one. This one's a harder one, very clearly. So notice a dig is like a comment that's designed to hurt. It's some sort of joking comment that really is actually insulting. Yeah? To take a dig at somebody. Shukri has no idea either. Backbiting for Amin is a shot in the dark. Yes. You don't know what backbiting is. Falern's going to change it to debunking behaviour. Okay, I definitely need backbiting for Hadi. I definitely need definitions for debunking, for defacing. Okay, I'm going to start with flaw. A flaw is a basic error, but we don't use it as a verb. Yeah, something has a basic structural error. or an error in design, an illogicality. That's a flaw, but it's never a verb. Diverse developmental opportunities collocates very nicely for learn. So backbiting for Hadi from Oksana. Valentine goes for debunking. Okay, backbiting, belittling means debunking myths. That's very good. You debunk a theory. You show that something is not true. For example, there are many things that people believe and everybody thinks is true, but in fact it's not true. So to debunk that, you have to prove it's not true. To debunk, to prove that something is wrong. That's great, Leffy. Defacing, to spoil the surface. Here, a blemish, a tear. Shortcomings. No, so, insults, being rude, being unpleasant, complaining. Okay, so to debunk a theory, embellish is the opposite to deface, means belittling. Thank you. Hello, Pallavi. Okay, you deface a poster, you draw all over it. Have you ever taken a pen and drawn a moustache on a photograph? That is to deface. Yeah. Okay, so in this case, despite the behavior of the narcissists, the rude comments and complaints, so these people, these narcissists, are complaining and being rude about other people. His claim was debunked outrightly. Yes, that works. Okay, expose the loopholes in an argument. That's to debunk. Very good, Patricia. So here the answer is backbiting. Backbiting is complaining, is complaining about what other people do. He did that and he shouldn't have done that. I don't know. In some countries, you can end up going to jail for things like that. Don't deface library books. That's very good, Hadi. Yeah, backbiting is complaining, is saying nasty things. He did that. Yeah, he's complaining about the other people. My name's Alex Pallavi. Great to have you. You deface a poster, you debunk a theory. Good, that's perfect then, Ronan. I love it. And a character flaw, or a flaw in a diamond. Backbiting, complaining. Yeah. Slander in the dark and libel ahead. Okay, woo, this one doesn't quite fit, does it? Aye. Bear with me a second. Okay, and let me just make it smaller. Okay, now it fits. Okay, this is the next one. Slandering, casting aspersions, backbiting. That's very good. Okay, and good evening, Mazembe. Great to have you. Slandering, backbiting, casting aspersions. He did that wrong, miss. Yeah, backbiting, complaining. Bite is literally you're biting somebody in the back. Yeah, ow, stop biting my back. Okay, Moon and Morais found that due to low self-esteem, along with a worse understanding of workplace norms like fairness and respect, workers who measured high in covertly narcissistic traits, marks, complexions, fingerprints were more likely to say they experienced rudeness, disrespect, or discourtesy from others in the workplace. Okay, Moon and Morais found that due to low self-esteem, along with, and there you go with along with again, together with a worse understanding of workplace norms, what you should do, like fairness and respect, workers who measured high in covertly narcissistic characteristics So we've got traits from Vitali, from Leffy, from Count, from Valentine, from Oksana, from Manji, from Falern, from Natalia, good evening, and from Patricia as well. And I've definitely got the size of this wrong. Okay, so we've got traits from Hadi and from Ronan as well. This one is easy. Good. Well, they've got to be some easy questions, very definitely. Okay, so yes, let's see. Marks. No, definitely not. Marks is not right. Traits for Amin as well. Complexion is talking about the colour of your skin. You have a dark complexion or a light complexion. Fingerprints. Well, the fingerprints that the police find that Leffy left at the scene of the crime. So traits for Amin and Shukri. Traits, this is a perfect synonym for characteristics. Very definitely. Okay, character traits. Okay, there, I've got this right. We would all leave if they were too hard. But Leffy, if I could make these questions harder, I would. But the questions are about as hard as I can make them. Yeah, that gives you an idea. If I could think of ways to make them harder, I would. Playing the victim in this way is super common, almost a given for covert narcissists, says Hall. They typically have a victim narrative which allows them to rotate, hang, axis, pivot out of any situation, out of any responsibility. It's always someone else's fault. Someone has been unfair to them. Okay, so let's see. We've got pivot for learn for Vitali. You can erase your fingerprints with lemon juice. Thank you for the tip, Leffy. Okay, I'm reading an art. So Pallavi, I'm reading an article from the BBC, and you've just got to choose the right word that fits in the gap. Pivot for Count, pivot for Natalia, pivot for Oksana. If I could, I would, Patricia. Traits, foibles, distinguished, I would say distinguishing characteristics, Hadi. Amin says pivot. Patricia says pivot. Manji says pivot as well. Okay, so this is quite good. I'm quite impressed at the range of good answers we're getting. Pivot out of. So to pivot means to swivel, to hinge out of, to turn. If something can swivel, it pivots on that. Pivot out, says Hadi. Pivot, says Ronan. Pivot, says Manji. Okay, so to rotate out of a situation, you can't rotate out of a situation. To hang out, to spend time with, you hang out with your friends. An axis is the point that something pivots around. Yeah, but to pivot out of, to make a sudden swinging turn and escape from any situation, to weasel out of. That's it. That's a very, very good synonym, Leffy. Yeah, you love challenges. That's why you're all here. So, good evening, Elcine, thank you. Weasel your way out of. I think you're an expert at that one, Leffy. To talk themselves out of any situation. And Shukri says no idea. To pivot out of. To pivot means to swivel on something, to turn. A door pivots on a hinge. Okay, and while Hall says, while overt narcissists are more obvious and aggressive, bullying others, or employing, immersing, hogging, possessing the spotlight, covert narcissists can be sweet and ingratiating, manipulating their victims over long periods before they realize what's going on. To wriggle out of. also to wiggle out of as well. So we've got like a swivel chair. It pivots exactly, Patricia. So, to wiggle your way out of, to wriggle your way out of. Hogging for Vitali, for learn. Immersing for count. To extricate. Yeah, extricating themselves from the situation, pivoting out of it. Hogging for Oksana, hogging for Leffy as well. So here, taking all of. Hall says, while overt narcissists are more obvious and aggressive, bullying others, or employing the spotlight, immersing the spotlight, hogging the spotlight, possessing the spotlight. So we got hogging for Oksana, for Leffy, for Natalia, and for Patricia, and hogging for Hadi as well. Yeah. Okay, my daughter, when she was little, always used to accuse me of hogging the toilet. Okay, Manji goes for hogging as well. To hogging, to take all of. Ronan for hogging as well. Yeah? To hog, to use all of. Notice a hog is a pig. Yeah? And I think this has got the idea of taking all the food. Yeah. Steer clear in a smooth way. Okay, from that pivot out of, Patricia, yes. So they don't employ the spotlight. That would mean using. Immersing themselves. If you immerse the spotlight, you would take the spotlight and put it in a bucket of water. Possessing means they own it. But hogging, like a pig, as Ronan says, definitely. There's a fact about Limelight, but I've forgotten it. It used to be how they used to make the light in theatres by burning lime, which is calcium oxide. To hog, to steal the thunder. It's more like to use all of. Yes, here they're stealing the limelight. But to hog means to take more than your fair share of, to use all of. Yeah, this is all for me. I'm going to hog this. Or maybe you're playing a video game with somebody and there's only one controller and your friend is always hogging the controller. They're always using it and they never give you a chance to hog. Okay, covert narcissists may affect us in the, no article, a and the, more invisible way, because we are not as prepared to deal with them, says Moon. Adding that, this should say, the, no article, comma, a and the, more research is needed to investigate this deeply. Okay, so we've got two here. So let's see. Count goes for A in the first one. Shukri goes for A, Vitali for A, Manji no article, Natalia A. Valentin goes for A and no article. Count says A and no article. Natalia A and no article. Good. Vitali and says A and zero article. I like that zero, Vitali. I'm going to continue using that in future. I think that's a better way of doing it. Okay, Oksana A, nothing. Shukri, then the. Amin says A, no article. Okay. Patricia says A, no article. Alt GR goes for A. Does no article mean blank? Yes, it does. Exactly. Yeah, it means nothing. Leffy. In A, more research. A and no article for Hadi. For the first one, A for the first one and no article for the second one, says Manji. This is great. I like doing these A and the questions. Okay, so the only thing that fits in the first one is a more invisible way. Because there are always several ways of doing things. And therefore, it's one of the different possible ways. I like zero article 2, yeah. So A for the first one, and in the second one, adding that, more research is needed. A research, it can't be, because research is uncountable. Yeah? A lot more research is needed. No more research is needed. Okay, I think that's the idea. The more research is needed. It says specific. No, it's got to be zero article. Should have been in capitals. Zero article. Okay, so no article in the second one. And let me go for the next one. The next one's reasonably easy. Get a real job. No more research is needed. Get a real job. Hello, Raphael. Great to have you, Rafa. Okay, so zero article. That more research is needed. No article. Okay, you may be able to guard, guardian, shelter, ward against the actions of an overt narcissist because their narcissistic behaviours are more visible. Covert narcissism is less easily identified and harder to stop. So Valentine's gone for shelter, Vitali's gone for guard, Count's gone for ward. Leffy's gone for guard. So, let's see what to shelter. I think you may be able to shelter yourself against. Ward for guard for Leffy for Patricia, ward for Ronan, guard against for Haddie, guard against for Oksana, who says ward off. To keep off, to keep away, to ward off. Yeah, he wears a talisman to ward off. I was thinking about shield and I didn't include it, Leffy. Okay, guard against for Manji, guard for Amin, guard for Mazemb. Raphael goes for guard, Shukri for guard, Dembien goes for guard as well. Okay, normally to ward off. But normally you ward off an attack. Yeah, somebody tries to attack you and you ward them off, you keep it away. So I guess ward off would work. But here, to guard against, let's see, guardian isn't a noun, it's only a verb. To shelter yourself against. Yeah? No, doesn't work. Needs something else. Yes, to shelter oneself against, but to guard against, very definitely. To guard against, to protect yourself against, to be ready for something. To guard against, very definitely. Okay, so, yeah. He had a security guard to guard against possible attacks. Fend off, ward off, exactly. Very good, Patricia. You write these questions behind the scenes. Okay, so what's the preposition after shelter as a verb? No preposition for learn. And it needs to be transitive. It needs a direct object. To shelter oneself. To shelter somebody, no preposition. What's the best way to deal with a covert narcissist? If you're trying to calculate, figure, reckon, evaluate out if someone is a covert narcissist, consider this. How do they react when something good happens to you? Okay, but shield from. Yeah, to shield oneself from, you're right as well. Yeah, to shield somebody from something. Thank you, Vitali. Yeah, you shield something, the direct object, from the direct object. Thank you, Vitali, very much. So Count goes for figure, Valentin goes for figure, Oksana for figure, for learn figure, Vitali figure, Manji figure, Shukri figure, Natalia, Amin, Lefi, Rafa, Hadi, Mazemb, Ronan, Patricia. To reckon with. To reckon with something. But normally, Hadi, to reckon with means to take something into account. Reflexive pronoun then, yes. They gloat. Yes, this is wonderful. They're really happy about it. Yeah, what happens if something bad happens to you? They gloat. Okay, figure for dem bien as well. So to calculate. If this out wasn't here, calculate would work very well. To evaluate, but without out. To reckon. Maybe. I'm not very happy with it. But we've got this phrasal verb to figure out, to discover the answer, to detect, to discern, to determine. I couldn't figure out what he was trying to say. I couldn't figure out what he meant. Can you figure out the answer to this question? Okay, so to figure out is to find the answer to someone. How do you react? They need to know. Well, they pretend to be happy, yeah, but they're not. So maybe it's a promotion, getting praise from a boss, or even just telling them you're having a good day. Are they happy for you? Are they really happy for you? That's a really good way to observe, locate, trace, detect, know narcissism. So, yes, this one's going to be a landslide, I think, as well. Detect for Vitali, for Count, for Natalia, for Oksana, for Valentin, for Manji as well. So, to locate means to find where something is. I can't locate my mobile phone. To observe. To observe means to watch something. To detect for Amin as well. So I was observing what they were doing. How? Work out based on intuition and deduction. Figure out. That's good, Patricia. Detect for learn, for Raphael, and for Lefi. So to trace, to try to find where something is, to follow the trail of something. No, very definitely not. So, detect for Lefi, Mazemb goes for locate, which is not right, Mazemb. It's to find the place here. Shukri says detect. Patricia says detect. There's no spectacle more agreeable than to observe an old friend fall from a rooftop. That sounds rather like Schadenfreude, but that's normally for an enemy, Vitali. Okay, Hadi says to detect. Observe, says Dembien, which means to scrutinize, to look at. But here we want to know, is this true or not? Yes, Schadenfreude. Okay, so to know narcissism. No, not at all. Dembien, changes for detect. Detect. Yeah? To detect. To find out the truth. Yes, this is. No, it isn't. This is the idea of to detect. Okay, next one's a good one. Okay, so yes, a detector is something that tells you if something, a metal detector. It detects if there's metal or not. And detect for Ronan as well. That's brilliant. Okay, so here we come with the next one, I hope. Yes. If you get the sense that it's fake, or they're tucking, gathering, folding, creasing something about the situation away in their mental filing cabinet, stop talking to them. So notice away. This is the important word in this. Trace the origins of. Yes, Patricia. So gathering for count, tucking for Vitali. A narcissist would compliment backhandedly. Very good, Oksana. Yes. Tucking for learn, tucking for Leffy, tucking for Natalia, tucking for Rafa, gathering for Dembien, tucking for Manji, tucking away for Ronan, tucking away for Oksana. Yes. Tucking away for Amin. This away. To trace, to unearth, to track down. That's very good, Hadi. Okay, to gather, but without this away, if they're gathering something about the situation in their mental filing cabinet, it's this away. If they're folding, well, to fold is a piece of paper that you fold. You don't fold it away, and to crease as well. And tucking for Keisha. Hi, Keisha, great to have you. So to tuck something away is to put it in a safe place. Every month I tuck away some money for my holidays, tucking away for Patricia as well. Tucking. Okay, so to tuck away is to put in somewhere where it's safe. Yeah. There's a storm coming, so tuck yourself away somewhere safe. Yeah. Filing something in a cabinet. Yes, to tuck away. To tuck away is to put something somewhere safe. You can also say this place is tucked away. It's hidden. Yeah, it's hidden and people can't find it easily. Yeah, so to tuck something away. He lives in a very tucked away place, a very hidden place. Okay, yes. You could tuck away food as well. I'm thinking about that because tuck is another word of food. He ate it very rapidly. He tucked it away. Yeah, tuck in a hanging part of your shirt. Tuck in your shirt. That's good. Talking of which, there's a word borrowed from Greek meaning schadenfreude. Epikaireka kakia. Kakia. Okay, I love that, the word schadenfreude. Okay, so we're getting lots of answers. Establishing boundaries is critical with any kind of narcissist. And since covert ones tend to do a better job at keeping up a likable or inoffensive appearance, it's better to err, mistake, stumble, screw up, fail on the side of caution. And this is a collocation. No, Raphael, to tuck in your pants, yeah. So I need to tuck this into my trousers. That's the idea of to tuck in. The outside side of your shirt is outside and you tuck it in. So, for Vitali, for Natalia, to tuck away chockies. Yes, Patricia. For Count, for Amin, the tuck shop, sweets for Leffy. For Valentine, for Manji, for put for Shukri, Oksana to Ronan to Leffy and Shukri to Territorial boundary, territorial border. I would probably say border, but you could I would use boundary for an animal, whereas border for countries. For Patricia. I tucked it away under the pillow. That's the idea. For Mazen. To err is human, to forgive is divine. That's good. But notice, this is a very common collocation. To err on the side of caution. Yeah, to err on the side of caution. To err on the side of caution. This is saying it is better to go too far than to fall short. Yeah. Discretion is the better part of valour. Sort of. Yeah, okay, yes. Discretion is the better part of valour. I see it, P, definitely. Let's see. I don't know if I'm going to have enough money, so I'm going to take extra to err on the side of caution. But to err means to make a mistake. No, Shukri, not to error, to err. To err is to make a mistake. To error, you can't have a verb to error. Error is a noun, Shukri. Okay, so to err on the side of caution. To mistake. To mistake is to think one thing is another. To stumble, to trip. Yeah, to screw up. To screw up's a very informal way of making a mistake. To fail. To fail is not to succeed, but no, to err on the safe side. That's it, Shukri. To err on the safe side. That's it, Shukri. Okay, good evening, Mar. Great to have you. Okay, so err on the side of caution. Very definitely. This is one that you need to learn, to err on the side of caution. This is a very common collocation. To be on the safe side, to play it safe. That's it, P. And Raphael, to err, yes. Yeah, to err is human, to forgive divine, as Valentine said. Okay, so to err, to make a mistake. If you have a narcissist in your workplace, it's important not to disclose anything that could be used to undermine, erode, tunnel, subvert you. Narcissists defend themselves by subtly attacking others. Yeah, to botch up, to screw up, very definitely. It's a good one. Okay, so let me read again. If you have a narcissist in your workplace, it's important not to disclose anything that could be used to undermine, erode, tunnel, subvert you. Narcissists defend themselves by subtly attacking others. Good luck, Mukul. Great to have you, Mukul. I'm sure you're going to do great in your exam. So, undermine for Vitali, for Count Beauty, for Falern, for Valentine, for Natalia, for Manji, for Ronan, and for Amin, and for Leffy. Yeah, and undermine for Hadi as well. Okay, to erode. But you don't erode you. To erode your position. To erode your confidence. But you don't erode a person. To erode is to wear away. To tunnel. Well, is to make a tunnel. No. To undermine you, says Mazembe. And Rafa for undermine as well. And undermine for Patricia. Subvert is synonymous to undermine. To subvert means to take something in a direction that wasn't expected. Well, they will return when the clocks go back, Leffy. Yeah, and that'll be in October. So undermine for Shukri as well. Okay, subversive. Yeah, I guess a subversive undermines the authority of someone, but to subvert your authority, not to subvert you. Yeah, if you subvert somebody, you teach them not to obey authority. You trick them into doing things that are not good for the society. Yep, you just did hear seagulls. Very definitely. But seagulls love to eat rubbish. Yeah, there are seagulls everywhere. So, undermine. You got it, Oksana. Great. So to undermine somebody, to undermine somebody's authority, but to undermine you as well. To subvert, overthrow, or to upset. Thank you, Vitali. Okay, so let's see. Here we come. Here we're going to have another one. So maybe 2 or 3 more. We're quite close to the end of this. And don't share personal information, because they're always mining information about others so they can get a foot up, a leg up, a heel up, a toe up, a knee up on them, so they can find other people's vulnerabilities and exploit those things. So, don't share personal information, because they're always mining information about others. They're looking for information about others so they can get a foot up, get a leg up, get a heel up, get a toe up, get a knee up on them, so they can find other people's vulnerabilities and exploit those things, says Hall. Seagulls, pleasant sound. Okay, so Vitali says leg, so does Count. Valentin goes for foot. Rafa goes for foot. Ronan goes for foot. Natalia for leg. Undermine, insidiously make things ineffective. That's a good definition, Hattie. I like it. Leg for Oksana as well. No idea, says Shukri. No problem. That's what we're here for. A leg up, says Manji. I'm going to wait for more answers. Okay, only one of these fits. Yeah. A foot up, says Amin. Okay, so the heel is the back of your foot. The toe is like your finger. The knee, to get a foot up. A leg up, says Hadi. Okay, so imagine there's a wall and your friend wants to climb over the wall. He puts his foot in your hands and you give him, as they say, a leg up. You hold his foot and you push him up, and that's a leg up, as said by Leffy and by Patricia as well. Helping a friend to climb over a wall, exactly. Yes, a leg up. No, a leg up is pushing somebody upwards, is putting them in a higher position. You get a foothold, yeah. But here, a leg up gives you a higher position. Could you give me a leg up so I can climb over this wall? Great to see you, Sherwin, and leg up is the answer. Great to have you with us, Sherwin. Okay, so to give somebody a leg up. To stir up, no, to boost somebody. So, if you borrow money from the bank for your business, maybe it will give your business a leg up. Thank you, Shukri. So, as for the covert narcissists themselves, Moon and Morais suggest that emotional intelligence training can help them build self-esteem, the lack of which causes their lethal, fatal, polluting, unsafe, toxic behaviours. A ladder up. Okay, that's the idea, Patricia, although I wouldn't say it like that, but definitely. So, Vitali goes for toxic, so does Valentin, so does Count, so does Natalia, so does Manji, Oksana, Patricia. Yeah, that's very good. This word is particularly associated for psychopathic, narcissistic people. Toxic for Learn as well. Toxic for Ronan. So very often we have this phrase. I think this is very common. Fillip. A fillip is like a harangue. What was the word I was using? Yeah, is to talk angrily to somebody, Patricia. Yeah. You like polluting. They're polluting behaviour. Let's see. I think polluting might work, but toxic. Toxic for Amin and for Shukri as well. Yeah. A rung up a ladder. Yes, that's the leg up, Patricia. Toxic. Toxic personalities. Toxic behaviour. Very definitely. If it's lethal or fatal, it means it kills people. Toxic for Dembien as well. So toxic behaviour. They're polluting behaviour. I understand the idea, but toxic behaviour is much better. And unsafe means it's dangerous, that something bad could happen. And toxic behaviour for Hadi as well. Okay, so we're going to do one more. Ooh, I love this one. To vitiate. Oh, they're vitiative. They vitiate behaviour. That would work, Patricia. I love it. Detrimental. That's very good. Words that contain X are good. Yeah, I like words that contain X as well. For example, place names that begin with X. His lethal gaze. Yeah, it was killing. Okay. So, Moon says their study shows that boosting self-esteem is A, the zero article, A and the and zero article. Key to potentially helping covert narcissists experience less incivility at work and possibly change their harmful habits. Yeah. So this is very interesting. Okay, wow, I love this one. I love this question. I've got all sorts of different answers. Huh. So, okay, great to have you, Manny, as well. I'm not going to read out your answers yet, but we've had answers from Natalia, from Falern, from Roxana, from Vitali, from Count Beauty, from Valentine, from Amin, from Manny, from Ronan, from Falern, from Shukri, from Manny. Okay, but it's a clock tower here. Amin's gone for all three. Dembien goes for A. That's a clock. It's a clock striking. Patricia goes for the. Manji goes for all three work. A and the for Bozok. This is a really good question, this one. No article, says Patricia. Okay, so I'm going to say something. Every single answer that you have given is right, because all three are right. A and the and zero article. All of them work. So this is a key to potentially helping them. One of the keys. This is the key, the specific and only one. This is key, generally important. They all work. So I have to give congratulations to Valentine, who went for all three, and Amin then went for all three, and Manji went for all three as well. They all work. That's the idea. So all of these work. In this case, A, one of the keys. The only one. And key, a general idea that is important. So that's all of them. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to stop. Thank you very much for coming. It's been great having you all. You've been a brilliant group as usual. So, next stream on Tuesday 28th of June at 10:30 a.m. UK time. Yes, I'm sorry about last week. I ended up having to do it on the Wednesday because I had problems. It's a weasel question. Yes, it is, Leffy. Well done, Manji. Yes. So thank you all for coming. Thank you, Dembien. Thank you, Oksana. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Hadi. Thank you, Leffy. Thank you, Manji. Thank you, Count. Thank you, Natalia. Thank you, Vitali. Thank you, Ronan. Thank you, Alt-GR. Great to see you, Leffy. Thank you, Manisco. Thank you, Valentine. Thank you, Sherwin. Thank you, Mazem. Thank you, Shukri. Yes, we do have 3 different meanings, Shukri. Thank you, Count. It's been wonderful to see you. Thank you, Boris. It's great to have you. Thank you, Rafa. It's wonderful having you. So, I will see you all next time. It's been really wonderful having